The Trump administration is considering imposing additional travel restrictions for certain delegations during the annual high-level UN General Assembly that begins here in New York later this month. The AP reports that potential travel and other restrictions could soon be imposed on delegations from Iran, Sudan, Zimbabwe, and Brazil. One proposal being floated would bar Iranian diplomats from shopping at stores such as Costco and Sam's Club without first receiving permission from the State Department. The inclusion of Brazil, interesting there. It's because Trump trying to back former President Bolsonaro and feuding with current leader Lulu there. Joining us now with more about Iran is staff writer from The Atlantic, Graham Wood. He's out with a new piece titled The Neighbor from Hell. Israel and the United States delivered a blow to Iran, but it could come back stronger. It details how Tehran might rebound after last June's missile strikes between Israel and Iran, and then, of course, the U.S. bombing of 3 Iranian nuclear sites. Graham, it's a great piece in the new issue of The Atlantic. Thank you for being here this morning. In it, you sort of trace how Iran built up this proxy army, and we can get to that. But right now, just talk to viewers about where Iran stands at this moment in the aftermath of those high-profile strikes.
Yeah, so Iran worked for 20 plus years trying to build up this axis of resistance, which means a bunch of proxies outside of Iran so it could fight outside of Iran instead of being attacked inside. And it got attacked inside, and it lost that war. It was a period when Israel, the United States, and Iran all had to sort of show their cards. And Israel had the cards, the United States had the cards, and Iran did not have a bad hand in the sense that it had a ballistic missile element that was able to at least attack Israel to the point where Israel had to wonder whether it was going to run out of anti-missile missiles. But overall, what we saw was that the axis of resistance, those allies that Iran had, did not show up to the fight. And they were picked apart by Israeli intelligence, by Americans, and Iran did not really have the cards, have the goods to fight. So right now they're at a point where they look weaker than they have for many years.
So with that in mind, what is your read on the opportunity here, if you will? If it's not just that its proxies aren't around anymore. I guess the Houthis still are, but Hezbollah and Hamas both badly wounded. But even like someone like Russia hasn't stepped up to support Tehran. So just how fragile would you say is the regime?
I mean, you can ask the regime itself. The regime has a few important talking points here, and you can hear it in the speeches of Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader. And he says 2 things. First of all, we have not signed a peace agreement. We're still fighting. We're still fighting, and we will continue to do so. But also, he points out that they're at a nadir in their fortunes, but they've actually had worse before. So he points out that he's old enough. He's 86 years old. So looking back to the end of the Iran-Iraq war, Iran was really suffering. And it took them a few years, but they came up with a strategy that kept their enemies busy for decades to come. So I think they're at a point where they're still vigorous in their hatred of the United States, hatred of Israel, but they're looking for a new strategy. And if the past is any guidance, they'll find one, and it might take a little while for that to happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you have experts in your piece saying that even though they are at a low point, there's no expectation that the regime is going to fall. Instead, they've kind of got this blueprint strategy of what it's looked like to rebuild in the past. And so what does that look like in this period right now?
I mean, it's possible that they will come up with something that we just won't be able to anticipate.
Sure.
Part of it, of course, is the nuclear idea. I mean, they have been pursuing nuclear weapons, or at least material that could turn into nuclear weapons for some time. The American strikes against them, of course, dealt a blow, but we don't know what kind of material they were able to get out. Yeah. And also the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, gave unprecedented visibility to what they were doing, and we have none of that right now. What they say, though, is, again, we've had worse. We're going to sit back and we're going to find something to do. Now, Iran has had protests inside the country that have been also very vigorous and that have gotten nowhere. So the idea that the regime will simply collapse, that it will run out of steam, that there will be no Islamic Republic, or that it will change its goals, that's what seems to be totally impossible based on what we've seen.
Staff writer Graham Wood for a fascinating new piece this morning. It's available online now at The Atlantic. Graham, thank you so much.